Welcome. In this lesson, we're going to be looking at how to lay out information or organize information within the page. One of the basic ways of doing this is using an HTML table, a table tag. Later on, we will see more advanced methods, so in this case, we will simply look at the basic functionality of a simple table. So as you can see here, I've listed a number of tags that we will be using: the table tag, the table row tag, the table cell tag, and finally a cell header. This is really the column header that we will be using to label our columns. So let's go ahead and start and do an example. We're going to start off with a simple table where we will create or where we will list a number of people. So we start off with table. We go ahead and close this tag. In between here, we will put in our rows. If you remember, we have tr for the table row. And inside of that, we're going to put in our table cells. The tag for that is td. And we're going to start out with a column where we will list the first name. So this will be Peter. And then the next column, it's going to be Parker. So as you can see here, we've defined the table, then the row, then the cells within the row. The first cell corresponds to the first column, the second cell to the second column. Now we will follow up with another row where we will list another person. Let's go ahead and do Bruce, last name Wayne. And let's go ahead and take a look at what this looks like. We're going to go ahead and save the page, then load it onto the browser. And you can see there that we have 2 rows and 2 columns. Now, one of the next things that we'll want to do is we'll want to create a header. The tag that we use for that is th inside of the table row. We're putting that row at the beginning. Let's go ahead and enter the cell header, and this is th, and we're going to write on a first name to indicate that that first column is where we will have the first name. Then we will do th again to enter last name. Let's go ahead and save that, reload the page, and you can see there that now we have headings for each of our columns. Now, we're going to go ahead and enter an attribute of border simply to, and this I'm going to specify here 1 pixel width, simply to see the borders within our table. Let's go ahead and reload that page, and you can see now a traditional table layout where you have 3 rows, the first one being header, and then 2 additional rows of content. Now if we wanted to add an additional name, we could do so by simply adding a field on each of the rows. Let's say, well, let's add an additional column. In this case, let's say we wanted to add email. We could enter a header and then enter an additional cell. Let's do Peter at mit.edu. We'll do the same here, td, and we will do enter Bruce at mit.edu. We will save this, and let's go ahead and reload the page. We should get an additional column with email as its header, and then 2 additional fields below that. Let's go ahead and reload the page. And yes, you can see here all of the information we've entered. If you wanted to enter an additional person, all you would do is enter here an additional table row and name, and corresponding name, first name, last name, and email. I'm going to go ahead and reload this. In this case, I've simply repeated it. I'll leave it up to you to experiment and vary the content within the table. Again, this is a very basic, simple way to lay out content. Make sure you you can create an HTML page, define your table, and populate it with content. And so with that, I'll go ahead and close and say goodbye.